Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really getting into it, cutting through the noise around artificial intelligence and generative AI. We've basically used sources structured like a foundational course, so, skipping the heavy jargon, our mission, to give you a quick but thorough understanding, not just the tech bits, but how to use it smartly and, importantly, responsibly. Okay, let's unpack this.
Exactly. We're moving past the buzzwords
Yeah.
and focusing on what actually matters, the mechanics, the applications. And this isn't future stuff anymore, is it? It's here. It's in manufacturing, marketing, even HR. Understanding these fundamentals is, well, pretty crucial now.
Right. So to get started, we have to talk about the absolute foundation. Everything seems to come back to the training set. What exactly is that?
So a training set is just a massive collection of data. It's what you use to teach the AI model. It learns patterns, rules, relationships from this data. Think of it like it's education. If you want an AI to predict stocks, you feed it decades of market data. For coding AI, billions of lines of code.
Okay, so the quality of that education dictates how good the AI is.
Absolutely. It's probably the single most critical factor. The quality, the diversity of that data, it shapes everything. If the training set is biased or incomplete or just plain wrong in places, the AI doesn't just learn those flaws.
It makes them bigger.
It can certainly amplify them. That's a huge issue. Bias in, bias out, but potentially worse.
Okay. And we hear about AI tools and generative AI. Can we quickly clarify the difference?
Sure. So AI tools are often specific software, right? They help with tasks, automate things, like tools that analyze code for bugs or sophisticated data analysis platforms.
Assistive tech, basically.
Yeah, mostly. Generative AI, though, that's different. It makes new stuff, text, images, code, you name it, based on the patterns it learned. The key word is create.
And when we talk about creating text, we inevitably land on large language models, LLMs. What's the magic there? What makes them tick?
Well, the large part is key. They're trained on just immense amounts of text data. But how they work, it's fascinating, really. They don't understand language like we do. They treat it statistically. They figure out which words tend to follow other words.
So it's all probability?
Essentially, yes. They analyze relationships and predict the most likely sequence to make something that sounds human, that seems contextually right.
Okay, that makes sense. Which brings us to how we interact with them. The prompt, everyone says write better prompts, but what does that actually mean? What makes a good instruction?
Right. The prompt is your instruction, your input. The sources we looked at point to three key things for useful output. First, be clear and specific. No vagueness.
Got it. Crystal clear.
Second, make it action-oriented. Start with a verb, usually. Create, analyze, summarize, compare, tell it what to do.
Okay, action verb. And the third?
Context. Give it enough background, like that example. Create 5 slogans for a new drink. Casual tone, tart taste, energizing herbs.
So you give it the task, the tone, the key details, you fence it in a bit.
Exactly. It narrows the playground, focuses the creativity, and you can even give it examples directly in the prompt, right? Few-shot prompting.
Yes. Tell us about that. Is it just about showing it what you want?
Pretty much. It's a quality and consistency technique. You provide 2, maybe 3 examples of the output format or style you're after right there in the prompt. It helps the AI grasp the pattern immediately, saves a lot of back and forth trying to explain it, really helps with getting consistent results.
Which really highlights that we're not just handing things off to the AI. This sounds more like collaboration, AI augmentation.
That's the idea. Augmentation is really the smart way forward, I think. Humans and AI working together, like a marketing team. They might use AI to draft a bunch of social media posts. That's the speed part. But then, crucially, the humans review, edit, maybe tweak the tone before anything goes live.
So the human provides the quality control, the final judgment.
Precisely. Which leads right into the human-in-the-loop concept.
Right. If the AI is so fast, why keep the human involved? Doesn't that slow things down?
It does, slightly. But the justification is all about safety and reliability. The main point of keeping a human in the loop is ensuring the output is useful and safe. You get the automation speed, but you keep that essential human oversight. Checking for accuracy, bias, appropriateness. Things the AI just doesn't grasp like a person does. It's judgment.
Okay, let's talk applications. Where is this stuff actually being used effectively? The sources mention manufacturing, which maybe isn't the first thing people think of.
It's maybe surprising, yeah, but generative AI is quite good at the planning and design stages. It can generate concept images for new products, draft detailed production guidelines, even help brainstorm ways to allocate resources better on the factory floor.
Interesting. So it's assisting with the thinking parts, manufacturing planning, design, documentation.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's helping the managers and engineers more than the assembly line.
That's a really key distinction the sources make. Generative AI is powerful for cognitive tasks, decision support, that kind of thing.
Mm.
But, and this is critical, it absolutely cannot do physical tasks. It can't receive a shipment, operate machinery, put things together. It's not robots in that sense.
Okay, so it's an assistant, a tool, not a physical worker, which means we have to be aware of its limits. Here's where it gets really interesting. What are the big limitations we need to keep front of mind?
Right. The sources consistently flag three major ones. First, it only knows what's in its training data. That's its entire world, its knowledge boundary.
If it wasn't in the training data, it doesn't know it.
Exactly. Second, as we touched on, it can reflect or even amplify existing bias from that data.
Which can be subtle but dangerous.
Very. And third, the output can simply be wrong. It can contain inaccuracies, sometimes presented very confidently.
Ah, yes, the hallucination problem. That gets a lot of attention. Why does an LLM just invent things?
Well, it goes back to that statistical core we talked about. It's predicting the next most likely word to make sentences that sound right, that flow linguistically. It's not checking facts against some truth database. It prioritizes sounding plausible over being factually accurate.
So it might generate an article with, say, totally made up statistics about renewable energy, but because it reads well, we might believe it.
That's the danger. It sounds confident, plausible, but it could be complete fiction. You absolutely have to verify its claims. Treat it like an unverified source. And that need for verification, for caution, leads us straight into responsible AI. It's a huge area.
Define that for us. What does responsible AI actually mean in practice?
It's about the whole life cycle. Designing, developing, deploying AI systems in ways that are ethical, fair, transparent, and ultimately beneficial. It's a framework for minimizing harm.
Okay. And one big harm mentioned is systemic bias. How is that different from just, bad data in the training set?
It's deeper. Simple data bias might be accidental, like, say, training facial recognition, mostly on pictures of one demographic.
Mm.
Systemic bias is bias baked into our institutions. Think about historical data from loan applications or hiring practices or even city planning. These systems often have historical inequalities built in.
So if you train an AI on data reflecting those past inequalities.
The AI learns and perpetuates them. It codifies that systemic bias. Like your example earlier, an AI planning infrastructure based on biased historical data might just repeat those past mistakes, disadvantaging the same groups.
Wow. Okay. That's a heavy responsibility.
It is. And related to that is something called quality of service harm.
What's that?
That's when the AI just doesn't work as well for certain groups because they weren't well represented in the training data. A common one is predictive text or voice recognition failing for people using dialects or languages the model wasn't sufficiently trained on. It creates an unequal experience.
So even if you get the bias mostly right, the model isn't static, is it? Things change. Model drift. Why does that happen?
Yeah, model drift is basically the AI becoming outdated. The world changes, but the AI's training data is frozen in the past. So its predictions get less accurate over time because the real-world conditions it was trained on aren't the same anymore.
What kind of changes cause that?
The sources mention big shifts. Sudden changes in consumer behavior, like after COVID maybe, or new economic policies, major new regulations like in real estate. The AI's knowledge base becomes obsolete.
So it needs retraining or updating constantly. Okay, switching gears, slightly protecting our data when we use these tools. What are the key takeaways for listeners? 3 main things.
Right. First, you really have to read the terms of use or service. Boring, I know, but you need to understand what happens to the data you input.
Know what you're agreeing to. Makes sense.
Second, and this is critical, avoid inputting personal or confidential information. Seriously. PII, sensitive business data. Assume it could be seen or used.
Yeah.
Don't put it in there unless you're absolutely sure about the security and terms.
Keep secrets secret. Got it.
And third, just try to stay informed. Keep up with AI news, especially around privacy and security. Things are changing fast.
Good advice. Now, before we get to strategy, you mentioned AI is evolving. We've talked mostly text. But it's moving beyond that, isn't it? Multimodal AI.
Yes, multimodal AI is a significant development. It means AI that can process and integrate different types of data together. Think video, audio, images, and text, all being understood and connected by the same system. This allows for much richer understanding and more complex outputs. It's definitely a space to watch.
Okay, so we've covered the tech, the risks, the ethics. How do we pull this all together into a practical strategy for actually using AI effectively in, say, a business context?
Well, the first step has to be careful evaluation. Don't just jump on the bandwagon. Really assess if a specific AI tool is right for the specific task you have in mind. It's not just about features. You need to test it. Like, if you're looking at an AI for debugging code, set up tests. Does it actually find bugs accurately in your kind of code? Is it secure? Validate before you integrate.
Don't assume it works perfectly out of the box. Test, test, test. Okay, what else? What are the core parts of a good integration strategy?
So soonest, analyze your workflow. Where could AI genuinely help? Don't just automate for automation's sake. Find real pain points where it adds value.
Be strategic about it.
Exactly. Second, and this is non-negotiable, maintain that human oversight, always. Keep humans involved in reviewing outputs, making final decisions. Don't let the AI run unsupervised on critical tasks,
Keep the human in the loop.
always. And third, encourage cross-team collaboration. Get different departments talking IT, legal, the actual users to make sure the AI use aligns with company goals and ethical standards. Everyone needs to be on the same page.
So what does this all mean for you, listening right now?
I think it means AI is an incredibly powerful tool, a potential game changer even. But its power comes with responsibility. We have to be thoughtful users. Leverage the speed, sure, but always respect the limitations, check the work, and stay vigilant about bias and accuracy. The human element remains essential.
That was a fantastic deep dive. We've covered a lot: training sets dictating outcomes, why augmentation beats blind automation, the dangers of bias and drift, and how to approach integration responsibly. Hashtag HackVile's outro.
Okay, let me leave you with maybe one final thought to chew on, connecting a couple of things we discussed. We talked about few-shot prompting, giving the AI textual examples to guide its output. And we just mentioned multimodal AI, which understands images, video, text, all sorts of things. So if the quality of your text prompt dictates text output quality now, how might multimodal AI change what a good prompt even is? Could we start prompting not just with words, but maybe with a combination of text and an image or a short video clip to show the AI the pattern or style we want across different modes? How does prompting evolve when the AI understands more than just language? That's something to mull over.
Prompting with pictures and sounds alongside words, that's a fascinating future possibility. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into AI essentials. We'll catch you next time.